Well, after a long time, we've come back with my buddy Guido to go fishing, and above all, we've come back to this place. We came super prepared. Look, we have charcoal for the fire. We brought stuff to make water, to cook cakes. Look at this place, it's beautiful. We don't know if the water's going to catch us, but, well, we're taking the risk. Let's see what we can share with you today, and see if the rising water and the rain bring good fish for us today. All right, Guido's going to start with the first little rod. He's going to add some chicken gut and we're going to cast. Here, check the background using a small hook for mixed fish. Notice how it's chopped up. Perfect for the middle. We set up here because there's plenty of shelter. See this whole area? We're going to cast here, but aiming for the middle. Notice how choppy the river is. All right, look, everything you see here is all for lighting the charcoal. It rained as expected. Plus, there's no firewood, so it's good we came prepared. We'll look for a spot nearby later. We're going to try to make a little fire with the charcoal. We can light the fire, start with fried cakes and mate, and that's it. As we catch fish, we'll prepare them here too. They're fried and coated with flour. And they're definitely going to turn out amazing here. Looking for a worm? They're usually under the bricks. Did you find something? Guido, yes.
I found two.
Are you gonna throw a ball where it won't roll? Look, here we have a fishing rod and over there's the other one. We're looking for a spot for the pot. Guido, look, there are several little frogs here. All right, let's add a little frog there that he can catch. Ideal, it's the perfect bait for the fish. All right, there's nothing here anymore.
First one of the day, a little portinito. So it's perfect for the petanga because the exact right size for this is when we release it. After a minute and a half, they start floating because they can't handle it. So we return them to the water. We don't know why. It must be from God.
How's the fresh bait coming, Guido?
Looks pretty good. 3 good-sized worms and a little frog.
Obviously, we'll be trying it out in a little while. We've already set this up to prevent the fire from spreading. To the other side, anyway, everything is pretty damp. So we'll be able to make a little fire here to start preparing the cakes and leave the fire going for the fish. We're gonna build a base all the way around in a circle to put the papers inside so it forms like one, like an oven so the coals can light up. It's the only thing we brought, so if this doesn't work, we're in trouble. Check out how it turned out. The idea is to put it in here. Papers like these, you see? If you're wondering, this cotton has some grease inside. It's a method I use so it helps as a good fuel to get it started faster. Notice that I used small coals to put on top, so it catches faster. All right, see? It's caught on. Now you just need to open a small hole so it gets some oxygen. That will let it keep burning. See, it's going to catch this flame now. Look at the pot. It's been here for about 3 hours. It's amazing. Let's try the little worms some guys gave us. Let's see if we can catch a few more. Hey friends, it's a new fishing day. Today we're heading to a very beautiful lagoon that connects with the river. We're going to be fishing and cooking there. We have an excellent day, no wind. Honestly, it couldn't be better. I'm walking with no idea where I'm going because look, the height of the grass here doesn't let you see. Look at this beautiful little nest here. Who knows what kind of bird it belongs to? Well, I think we're close. Either the grove ended up here, but honestly, it's crazy. The whole way is full of cat's claw. Look how tall it is. There was literally no air flowing in there. Well, here we are, at least. Just a few meters from the lagoon, this shady spot is so nice. The thing here is, there's no shore to cast into the river. Let's see if we can cross, because... Look, this is where I connect. What came out there? Look, a white heron? Getting through this mud will be tough. Look, they've made like a bridge there. Let's see if we can cross over there, or we'll figure something out so we can get across. Well, look. I think this is going to be a nice place to cast here. Let's try here and see if we catch any mojaras. If not, we'll see later how we can cross over to the river. Just now I saw some movement. In the end, I was wrong. It was a tarucha. So let's get the gear ready quickly. For bait, we brought chicken breast and some pieces of liver, but we're also prepared to catch some minnows. So let's hurry up and see if we can catch the first tarudo of the season. What's that smell from this chicken breast? I'm serious. I always like to cast in places like this, close to the shore of the coast. Mostly if there are bushes, those shrubs you see or something, because that's where the marsh birds usually make their nests. Let's try to cast over there. This one is with chicken gut. Little ball sliding with a leader and a bit of liver. Perfect. Now we're going to use this gear right here to go to the river with chicken gut and see if we can catch a little catfish or something on that side. Imagine that today we have to prepare something here, so we're going to have to fish. Look. What animal could this be from? Well, we're about to set up the fishing net. We're going to take advantage of the area down here. where the water is calm. Here's the small rod with some gut. So, well, it's just a matter of waiting. Look, this one I found pretty good. Well, a nice sprint. Here you're going to have this rod. No, just the strike. Look. Because of how that strike pulled, it was a patty, so there are probably some little patties biting. Let's see if we can catch one. Look, I got myself some new stock. And here we have a worm I found on the way, under a stone, so we should be ready now. The fishing rod is a bit long, but otherwise I wouldn't have enough reach. Look how muddy it is. Let's see. They must be really small fish, so I'll probably set up the trap. For little fish, I'll leave it here. Or do they sink a lot? Let's see if it sinks. All right, perfect, look. Let's leave it alone for a while and let's go back to the river. All right, I think we've got the first one. There it is, beautiful yellow. Look. You must hold the rod because, look, ideal. This one stays for lunch. Look, very yellowish. Here comes another one. Look, right away, like I said, if you have the rod in your hand, look, Mancholito. Well, I think with those two, maybe one more that's a bit yellower. Or maybe a little catfish, or some small Majara that we catch. We're good. The plan is to return to the lagoon later and try catching Mojara or other lagoon fish. At least we have food secured. Now we should try to catch better ones to keep or release. Look, another one. This one is a little better than the others, look. Very nice. Ah, the trap worked and we have some little fish. Now we came over here. We're going to cook the little fish here and, well, let's see if... Bara to date. Let's see if we get a bite. Let's see. All right, let's start looking for firewood. We already have the fish cleaned over there. They're ready. Let's see. This one will serve as our base. It's really heavy. Now that evening is falling, we're starting to see a lot of movement on the surface. Honestly, maybe I caught it with the bait, or I don't know, but I know that in places like these, they're usually trickier. Because most of the time, the fish have plenty to eat here. Look, Fueguito's ready, the little fish is ready, and the float, they're moving around with the bobber there. In a little while, we're going to season the fish and add the flour. Look at that nice little fire. It's ready. I'm eating, but look at the buoy. What is that? See? He always brings it to the water hyacinths, but never sinks anything. Look at how it turned out. Let's see if there are any mojaritas now, since we baited a lot. And if not, we'll cast with a bear tail that we left there. I was getting some bites, but as I said, they're very subtle. Maybe they're just becoming active. No, that's strange. Look, Talmente's about to eat the chicken guts. Clearly, the problem isn't the bait. The fish here must be pretty wary. There, I switched the bottom rod for him. I put a catfish tail on it to see if we can catch something with that. I tried a different route to avoid getting lost, but ended up even more lost. Look at how high this is. Here, the path is clearer, so I can look around. I saw a man go by with a horse, then I realized that there has to be another way, because I was following a whole little path. Fishing was slow at La Laguna, but I think the season is just starting. In places like this, it's always tough. At least we caught some fish and ate them. That was good. Well, I hope you enjoyed the fishing spot. Thanks for watching and being part of this. Until next time.